Oh, the sun'll come out tomorrow. Bet your bottom dollar that tomorrow.
There'll be sun.
God, Briggs, you have the voice of an angel, dude.
Well, angels to some.
Demon to others. Oh, man. What's up out there tonight, horror fam? We are going to be discussing the VHS franchise, Briggs. Who'da thunk?
Oh, boy. Who'da thunk VHS had got more than one movie, Bo?
That's literally what I was about to say. Who'da thunk VHS, brought to us by good old Bloody Disgusting, and now I guess the team up of Bloody Disgusting and Shudder, that VHS would become a thing, and it apparently has, because VHS 99 will be releasing on October 20th of this year. And, Briggs, I had no idea until the lovely Dragon Blues told me that there is now a teaser trailer out for VHS 99. It just dropped 5 hours ago.
Oh my God.
So we're going to have to watch that bad boy later on stream and give our live reaction, man.
It'll be my first one, and it's a privilege to share the screen with you, the trailer to VHS 99.
Oh my God, I can't wait. This is going to be so badass. I know Briggs is so pumped right now, dude.
I'm ready to be part of something bigger than myself, dude.
For those of you who do not know, that is a VHS viral quote right there. You're very welcome. So for those of you who don't know, though, for real, like, VHS is an anthology series of films. Now, an anthology, when you think of anthology, think of some good examples would be something like Creepshow, Trick or Treat, Trilogy of Terror, Tales from the Crypt, something like that. Even Pulp Fiction, I believe. Tales from the Dark Side, there you go. That's another great anthology. I believe even something like Pulp Fiction may constitute as an anthology, Briggs. What do you think about that, man?
If Trick or Treat constitutes it as an anthology, then so does Pulp Fiction, I say.
Oh, yes. And hey, Victoria Violet says Stephen King's Cat's Eye. That is also another great example of an anthology film.
And a solid-ass one at that.
Absolutely. So, Twilight Zone, yes. Pinhead, absolutely, brother. What's up, Gory Tiger, Daughter of Death? Getting the party started. We are $160 closer to throwing the ultimate Halloween bash 2022, folks. But
Brassman, glad to have you back here from the nightmare realm, buddy.
Absolutely, brother. Hello, Briggs. Did you like how he threw that in there? He's been watching you, Briggs.
That's the season. That's the pumpkin growing in the grass patch.
So an anthology is basically multiple stories in one film. Basically what that is, and that can look differently. Like I said, Creepshow does it in a way to where you get introduced to each story individually and they do not tie in whatsoever. Something like Trick or Treat ties everything together, Pulp Fiction style. So VHS is more along the lines of a traditional anthology where you do get the wraparound and then you get each individual story. Now,
but they don't tie in for the most part, aside from a couple references here and there.
There you go, exactly. So you don't even have to really keep your eyes open for Easter eggs. But now I want to ask you this, Briggs, and I want to ask the fans out there, the horror fans. Sorry, did not mean to use that terminology, my friends. The horror fam. If you feel this way, man, VHS is like, for all of its shortcomings, for all of its faults, it has become a beloved medium that is starting to see an uptick. It's starting to get, starting to come back like vinyl or something. It's not quite there yet, but I do know collectors have sprung up out of the woodworks to get their hands on shit and drive the prices through the roof on certain films, but But man, VHS, you know, I think a lot of it has to do with, you know, why people love it so much is the nostalgia factor. A lot of people grew up on VHS. That's when, you know, the home media market absolutely imploded. You know, that was like the first time that, you know, back in the day, dudes, when movies got out of theaters, you were shit out of luck. You didn't get to watch it again if you liked it. It doesn't matter how much you liked it, man. You know, boom, Star Wars is out of theaters, you're screwed, bud. You wouldn't get that opportunity again until the 80s, I believe, is when, you know, that really became, the home media market became a thing. But, you know, so I think it's a nostalgia factor, and I will admit, you know, like the graininess of VHS is really cool, but I also think, man, there's a more sinister side to VHS, Briggs. The medium itself, dude, it's like... And I know you know what I'm talking about, dude. It's not like a piece of digital, you know, film or whatever, where it's like, you know what the hell you're getting for the most part in a file. You know what I'm saying? It's like... I mean, back in the day, like when the internet was sort of like the Wild West and you went on Kazaa or Napster or some shit, it was kind of crazy. But on VHS, man, like I know, like when somebody gets handed a VHS tape in a movie, you're like, oh my God, what could possibly... We know this is no good. Like, we know there's some sinister shit on there. And I know, man, like when you know, and probably most of the chat here, man, or people who grew up around VHS, it's like, dude, you could get blank VHS tapes and record God knows what on them. You know, a lot of people had VHS camcorders and stuff. So you could record stuff off the TV, you could record stuff off of, you know, a camera. But too, man, people had so, like, blank tapes were in such excess, dude, that, like, I had cabinets full of them. Just blank tapes that had shit recorded on them, and you were at the mercy of someone taking the time to create a label, and then whatever they put on that label and hoping it's accurate, because sometimes you'd put that tape in your player, man, and find out what you thought was on there totally got recorded over. And two, Briggs, go ahead, brother.
I was just about to say, you make a good point, man. Like, it's not as easy as like a touch of a button to copy or preview a VHS. You have to put some effort into like finding it, putting it in, scanning through it. Yeah, like it adds kind of a dimension of how it's an extra challenge to unraveling whatever the mystery on that inauspiciously labeled tape is.
Well, think about this too, man, okay? And I don't mean to insult anybody here, but when you get a file on the computer, you know that whoever put that on the computer has to be at least somewhat tech savvy, or that son of a bitch ended up on the computer. Like a VHS, man, Hank from down the street, who, you know, could press button record, and you have no idea what the fuck he just put on his VHS tape, man. Could be anything, and you know, I feel the same way. Like it's like same thing, man. When you're watching a horror movie and somebody gets handed Polaroids, you know, ain't shit about to be good on them Polaroids. You know, so VHS to me is like that, dude. You know, you find a tape, you put it in the player, you hear the player wind up, and then, you know, you get that staticky kind of intro, and then all of a sudden it kicks in, and, you know, it's trying to track focus and all this, and, you know, finally, you know, the tape kicks on. It could be who knows what. It could be, you know, you could think, oh man, this was my 5th birthday party, badass. I want to relive those Nintendo 64 moments. And then, what? My uncle fucking recorded the Dallas Cowboys game over this, you dick. But, and I'll tell you another thing too, man. There's nothing more sinister than finding a VHS tape. Have you ever found one in the wild, dude? Like, that's just in like an abandoned house or in the...
Oh, God.
In the floorboard of someone's car. It's like, what the hell could be on that, man?
View?
What? Yes, I have. I've found them in like houses and stuff like that, and like I left those alone, I do believe. But I had a buddy one. Oh, go ahead.
You left them alone, dude?
Well, yeah, man, because these, I think, man, these are like abandoned houses, man. They have like dirt and stuff on them. Back then, man, VHS players were like, you treated them like gold. You didn't want them to eat your tapes.
Clean it off first.
Oh my goodness, dude. I couldn't risk that for God knows what, but yeah, Victoria Violet here says, everybody loves Raymond. The wife expected to watch their wedding video, and Ray recorded a football game. Oh, exactly. Exactly, man. That was commonplace in the VHS days. And Dragon Blues here says, make your own mixtape. I absolutely did on VHS, man. Like, I would, I'd go crazy, dude. Because you could put it on, like, the SVHS mode or whatever and get 6 hours of tape.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, dude. But yeah, my buddy found a VHS tape in his car one time. He had given some, and this was way after VHS was dead. So it's like, this was ultra sinister, Briggs. This was like, this was post 2000s. This was, post 2005 or something like that. You know what I'm saying? So VHS is dead at this point. Like, who the hell, is still rocking that at that point? But yeah, dude, he found a VHS cassette in his car one time, man, after he took some buddies home from work. They hitched a ride with him, and one of them had I think a backpack with him or something, and the tape supposedly slipped out and was left in the back of my buddy's car, and yeah, he took it home and watched it. Once again, Briggs, you're at the mercy of whatever is on that tape.
What was on the tape, dude?
Dude, it was a total sex tape.
It was that was
but
worth
that
the adventure.
The point in case, hey man, but I'm saying though, man, you have no idea because it's just a blank. Like, it had no label on it. And it's a VHS tape. My buddy had a lot of you are probably wondering, what post VHS? Why did he still have a player? That is a really damn good question, but he did. He hooked that son of a bitch up, man, and watched it, and it was like, oh my god. He did. We'll just say he didn't stumble upon gold there, but I mean, dude, that was some shit from a VHS movie, my friend. Like. But yeah. I'm saying, you're at the mercy of it, man. You have no idea what could have been, because everybody had VHS, and you could get a blank tape for $1, if that. So I mean, and then you can reuse them, man. That was part of the badassery of the VHS craze, dude. So yeah, man. I don't know about you, but VHS in general just has kind of like a sinister thing about it,
Yeah, like I enjoyed that. I enjoyed that tangent you went off on, dude. Like I thought we were going to be talking about the movie series by now.
No, not yet, man. Because I'm telling you, man, that's why I think Bloody. That's where I was going to work it in, man. I think Bloody Disgusting really nailed it with using, because it's somewhat rare we get themed anthologies.
True.
Usually it's just a mishmash, but Bloody Disgusting utilized the found footage movement at the time, which had just sprung back because of Paranormal Activity. Because I believe the first VHS came out in like 2012.
Yep.
So they were a little later to the party, but I thought it was a really cool way to do an anthology, man, that's themed.
Absolutely, and I do love that they did that. That they brought kind of the feeling of finding like illicit tapes and the kind of fear, the kind of mystery that comes along with that. I think it was a great way to deliver the found footage format, because a lot of the times the found footage format isn't best supported by a full like hour-and-a-half movie. Like, turning into an anthology like franchise, it perfectly complements it. It brings out its strengths.
Absolutely, and it feels like it gives you more of the home video feel if anybody's ever played around with a camcorder or something like that, it is like you would walk around and take snippets of footage. So it does, instead of something like the Blair Witch Project where it's found footage tape throughout the entirety of a film, this
right.
it is a perfect, an anthology is a perfect medium for something that is VHS and found footage focused. You know what I'm saying? It's like,
because all of them can, and they tend to have their own identity. Like, it's all different, like, devices. Like, each film was shot on and under totally different circumstances too, and that's one thing I really admire. That's a way the franchise keeps it fresh. It's not just, every segment isn't just somebody in the woods with a camcorder.
No, I mean, because anything could have, like we said earlier, man, anything could find its way onto VHS. And when I was running around with a VHS camcorder, I was making, quote, movies, with my cousins and stuff like that. Now, don't get any ideas out there, perverts. I am from West Virginia, but I don't want to hear it, damn it. None of those jokes tonight. Nah, man, we would run around and, in the backyard and make zombie movies and stuff like that. And that's what I'm saying, man. They were more like snippets pieced together. But, we're not going to go out there and make a feature-length, hour-and-a-half movie. So it was like, you get a snippet of a zombie jumping on my back, and then in the next scene, I'm surrounded by zombies, and I'm shooting them off with a airsoft pistol, and it's like, so yeah, man, VHS can, is a great format for an anthology, and I think it could work well, and it did in some instances, which we're gonna talk about here, man, because VHS was not a home run necessarily. No. So I'll go ahead and give us the intro, man. Briggs, I'm going to let the trailer for the first VHS play while I give us a brief little rundown here. So, the original VHS followed a group of hoodlums.
Okay, here's the deal.
Oh, 1 second here, Briggsy. Let me mute the audio. Excuse me while I give this rundown so people can hear me. So it follows like a group of hoodlums who run around and make their money by filming messed up deeds on their VHS camcorder. Like, they'll run around and try to, like, lift up a girl's shirt and assault her and then run away really quick, and hopefully they catch some boobies on camera. And then they film themselves going into, like, a abandoned house and just trashing it even more and breaking stuff inside of it. Stuff like that. Well, they put some of their footage out there to be seen and people purchase it or whatever, and this guy employs them to find a certain VHS tape he's looking for. He doesn't tell them what is on this VHS tape, but he just says that they will know once they find it. And it's inside of this dude's house. And they have to break in and search through this dude's collection of tapes. He's dead. You're wondering what's happened to this dude. And as you can guess, things go awry pretty quickly once they're inside this dude's house. And that is our wraparound story. Mm-hmm. And then you get tossed into the, as they put each videotape into the player, while they're trying to find this tape, that is our introduction to the segments from the film. Really cool way of setting that up, man. Really cool way to segue us into, the meat and bones of the film and everything.
For sure. And as they look through these tapes in this man's house, the stuff they discover starts to get, like, blatantly supernatural. And we wonder just how far it's going to go as they keep keep scrubbing through these tapes.
Yeah, and all around them while they're searching through this guy's collection of tapes, the dude who is dead totally moves at one point while they're in the basement looking for tapes and collecting them. One dude thinks he sees someone run across the room. And so I guess we'll comment on the wraparound first, Briggs, which is very found footage-esque, I will say. What did you think of the wraparound in the first VHS? You know, these hoodlums hired to find this specific tape.
The wraparound, it doesn't leave too much of an impression on me in VHS 1. It feels very much like, you know, kind of a cheap way to get them together and have a reason why they're looking through VHS tapes. Mm-hmm. There's not really a memorable scare scene, I think, in the wraparound. Like, there's a couple, like, jump moments that are kind of effective because of just the way they're filmed, but if I remember correctly, there's no real finale to the wraparound. Even we see the final segment and it's the end of the movie.
Yeah, the wraparound is, like Dragon Blue says it right here, it works, but it's boring. She agrees with you completely, Briggs. Yeah, man, it does work. It is a cool concept. I just wish they had done more with it. You know, these hoodlums. Go ahead.
There'd be some scenes or some character traits to stick out.
Yeah, they could have just done more with it. You know, I think, you know, these hoodlum assholes breaking into this dead man's house to find this tape. It could have been, and, you know, it is a creepy concept. Like, man, we get in here and this dude is dead in his chair. You know, he presumably died while watching these tapes that they're trying to, like, siphon through, man. So, it, you know, the creepy factor is there. It's just they didn't pull it off that well.
Yeah. It would have worked better if one of the tapes actually connected to it. Like, we actually saw the tape they were looking for or something.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. Yeah, because that's never, like... You know, they even address that while they're searching for the tape. They're like, well, what are we supposed to be looking for? He's like, I don't know. He just said we'll know once we find it. It's like, okay, well, I mean, these are some pretty extraordinary things happening on these tapes. How could it get any more, you know what I'm saying? Like, but, you know, the first segment of the movie is called Amateur Night. And this one is... Now, here's where VHS, you think, given the name and everything, that every segment is going to appear as if it was shot on a VHS camcorder, or and this footage that they're watching, you know, is supposedly on VHS. Well, the first segment we get is actually a group of 3 guys, and they're recording footage through spy glasses, which look just like regular seeing eyeglasses. They just have a camera in them. So right away, you're like, how the hell did that footage get on VHS? But if, you know, if we overlook that and suspend our imagination, so these guys basically are going to film themselves. They rent a hotel room, and they're going to have a crazy night out, party it up, and they're going to try to pull some chicks, get them back to the hotel, and then the goal is, of course, to film their own sex tape with these spy glasses. And things go awry fairly quickly, and it's very obvious as to what's going to happen in this one, man. It's like, these guys, there's no way in hell these guys are going to go unpunished, and all this is going to work out for them. But while they're out picking up chicks, man, there's this one chick. She's actually the one on our thumbnail. She keeps telling the guy wearing the spy glasses, I like you. And it's like, this chick is totally weird. She has shown us her hand in the most obvious of ways here. And of course, things go awry once they get back to the hotel room. This chick, turns out, Briggs, is a creature. Almost like a vampire-like creature, but maybe not. I'm not sure what she is, which is cool in my book, because it's a creature feature. And she is really creepy. She plays it very well.
Like, it's really kind of no wonder that they put this one up front, because there's a reason it's been the breakout success of the franchise. I do like how they build up to this woman revealing herself as this succubus. Well, it starts out like on a really effective jump scene. Like, it's built up by the fact that just one of the dudes comes in and she's bitten his hand off screen, while the dude who's actually got the camera gogs on is in the bathroom.
Yeah, thanks. I mean, shit hits the fan, dude, pretty damn quick once they're back in the hotel.
Mm-hmm. And I love the claustrophobia, because once they find out they're facing this like creature, they shut themselves back in the bathroom real fast.
Yeah, trying to devise some sort of plan here, man. Like, and what would you do if you were in a bathroom, Briggs? You know, I'm going to be looking at the shower rod and the toilet tank cover, man. That's about it. You know, I'm not running out there with the freaking toothbrush in my hand. That ain't gonna happen.
Oh, and who knows? Because they don't actually do that. They just kind of sneak back in the room, and we see it in silhouette, just kind of contorted over itself.
Oh my god. Yeah, it's creepy, and it's like, at first it's like, dude, this chick bit me, and it's like, well, you can't go out there and beat her ass, like, because, I mean, at that point, they might not know it's a straight-up monster yet, but, dude, she wreaks some havoc in that hotel room, really messes them up, and I really like it, man. There is a scene where she has one dude down on the bed, and all of a sudden, it's like she very quickly floats up with his body and jumps them off of the bed onto the floor. Yeah. And I think that's like maybe the first hint we get at something a little more supernatural going on here. It's like,
well, we do get the shot of her gargoyle toes when she's first been put down on the bed.
Yeah, man. Yeah, so, and it does have a really good payoff, I think.
Yeah,
you know, like, this chick sprouts wings. You know, after, and this was a really cool part of the story, too. She gets super upset and cries because of the guy she really likes, the one who is wearing the spy glasses. She feels rejected because after she killed his friends, now she wants to have sex with him, and he can't get turned on. So she feels rejected, and that's when, you know, she takes him on a scenic overview of his town by sprouting wings and flying through the sky.
Takes him by force since he wasn't willing.
Yeah, and then his glasses fall from the sky down to Earth. And really cool, man.
Because a lot of found footage like features at that time did not go with that kind of like outwardly paranormal ending. Like, they wouldn't have done something like have the glasses, like have our protagonist like get pulled into the sky with the camera.
Yeah, and well, that, man, and it turns into, like I said, it turns into a total creature feature. They could have done anything else with that story. Like, you know she's going to go wild at some point in some way. Like, this is not going to end well for these guys. But they could have went with the, oh man, she's a serial killer, or oh, she's just a straight up vampire, or tons of other things, man. And I mean, I really don't know how to, like, can I classify her as a vampire? Maybe. Could I classify her as a gargoyle? Maybe.
A demon?
A demon? You know, so it's really cool. It's a really cool creature feature. So I really like that one, man. And, you know, then we get into the next segment, which is a downer for me, Brig. This one is Second Honeymoon. And go ahead, brother.
I liked that we got a slow burn in this one, because for most of the VHS sequels, we didn't really get many slow burns per se. Like, this one is very, like, along the same lines of the Blair Witch Project. It doesn't show its hand until later, but on rewatch, you can see that there's more foreshadowing than you might have originally seen. Both the husband and wife saying how scared they are getting close to the edge of a cliff, thinking one's gonna betray the other. And the shot where we see the camera in the wife's hand, she's lingering on this knife while they're talking about a pair of boots that's right above it.
Yeah.
And that, of course, a knife features heavily into the payoff. I know we were probably going to get to that later.
Yeah, it does. So this one is called Second Honeymoon, and it follows a husband and wife couple that are on a road trip trying to enjoy themselves. They have their camcorder set up, and you get the feeling really quickly that they're not exactly the happiest couple. There's some trust issues there. There's some intimacy issues there. Stuff like that, and that's essentially the plot. They're on a road trip together until one night. The only thing we get, the only hint that something is going to go bad, is when one of the nights they're spending the night in the motel room, and some woman comes knocking at their door. Mm-hmm. That's it. They're a little bit creeped out by it. They're like, man, is she on drugs? What, she needs a ride tomorrow? I told her no. All this stuff. So then the next night we see someone break into their hotel room and make use of their camcorder while they're sleeping. And we see them sort of reveal the wife in her panties. We see them, look at the husband while he's asleep, and then they put one of their toothbrushes in the toilet, which definitely has to be the husband's. Once we hit the payoff, and the payoff is the next night or whatever, the intruder stabs the husband in the throat, if I remember correctly, and it turns out that it is the wife's girlfriend. She has been having an affair. And I don't know, man. To me, this one felt like too much of a slow burn for me, man. Because, you go through, it's a short segment, and we progress through 3 days. And it's repetitive, the breaking into the hotel room, and,
It happens only twice.
It happens. Yeah, it happens. Well, there's 3 hotel visits, though. It's like, well, this girl came and asked for a ride, and then the next night she's in there, and then the next night she's in there. And it's like, this is a 30-minute segment. It's really, but it's the fact that it is so slow in that, and then we get, that's our payoff. It's just, the wife was having an affair. I think they really thought the lesbian thing would throw people for a loop and really shock them, and it's not.
It's what I love about Second Honeymoon. First off, I admire a found footage film that doesn't lay on the obviously creepy shit too much or too early. Yeah. Now, the first scene the intruder broke into the hotel room was the same one where she was prowling outside, so there were only 2 visits. Okay. I thought her killing the husband on the second visit was actually a jolt. It was, I didn't expect it to happen that suddenly.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
And then the lesbian thing, I think Second Honeymoon works better on a rewatch, because on a rewatch I paid closer attention to seeing how uncomfortable she was with him coming on to her, just how much she tried to excuse herself from that situation. And it's one where everything takes on a different meaning on a rewatch. The fortune teller shit about the old friend, everything.
Yeah, there, it definitely, there's some hints there when you rewatch it, because I did give it a rewatch. I just think it was a bit lazy and lazily written. It
didn't have a lot of bells and whistles, but it didn't need them, I don't think. Yeah. Not every found footage film does.
It's, it is what it is. Next up, the next segment is Tuesday the 17th, which is oh my God. So me and Briggs have our work cut out for us on this one, folks. This one, like a group of friends, or are they? Like the main chick in this group basically tricked her other friends to go on a trip with her into the woods where they're going to go smoke weed and hop in the lake. So they go on this little trek. And it is very obvious from the beginning, Briggs, when you speak about that shit. Like, this chick flat out tells some of them, like, you're gonna die today. Like, you're done for. But they get them out into the woods, and they're being stalked by a killer that no one can see. The only thing is that the camcorder is able to pick up the murderer, which is a very slasher type killer.
Mm-hmm. Like, the tone of this one was just all over the place, and I think, like, the more comic moments of it really kind of set the pace for some really bad segments in the future with some really corny senses of humor. The idea that she was luring them into the woods in order to lure her prey to her, that was dark, and like playing it mostly as a spoof was just, it didn't work. Again, I admire the monster in this one. He looks creepy, and the fact that the camera just comes overwhelmed with static whenever he's in view is just like awesome, I thought. But
yeah, it's a really creepy concept. I really wanted to like it, Briggs. You remember that when we first watched it, I was like, oh my God, that's, a cool ass idea. And then you rewatch it and you're like, oh my God, dude, the concept does not carry it whatsoever. And the acting is absolutely atrocious. Like, the acting is bad enough to pull you out of it.
They legit did throw in a "you're all gonna fucking die" here.
And we know how I feel about those. Yeah. So, so next up we have the sick thing that happened to Emily when she was younger. Oh my God, that is a mouthful.
It is a confuse balls segment, and like, you can say whether or not you found it like creepy, but like, it made no sense.
This is a unique one, folks. So it follows a couple as they have webcam conferences, like they're on FaceTime together, and Emily is explaining all these weird things that are happening to her body and weird things that are happening in her apartment. And eventually paranormal stuff begins to, or supernatural, whatever the hell you want to call it, begins to happen while they're having these FaceTime sessions. By the end, we find out that the boyfriend has been using Emily to communicate with and appease these entities that have been visiting her. And that's the best way I can describe. So he's totally gaslighting her, is like the whole plot of it.
For reasons that are known only to the filmmakers and their twisted imaginations.
Yeah, we have no idea why he's doing this to her. We have no idea what the payoff is. You don't know. And then
pulls out a hybrid fetus out of her back once she's hurt herself in pursuit of these little green men.
Yes, and by the end of it, we see that he's doing this with another woman. So we get the idea that he's doing this to multiple women. And
I don't know why the aliens are running around like spooky ghosts instead of just staying out of the whole thing.
Yeah, Dragon Blue says here, it's another one where you can tell right away that there is something wrong with the relationship. And I absolutely agree with that, man, because this guy, Emily, is pretty seductive. We'll say that, like, she's willing to play a little bit. She's open to playing a little bit on webcam with her boyfriend and, showing him the goods. And she does.
As is the other girl.
As is the other girl we get introduced to, man. But you can tell, like, this dude's, like, kind of into it. It's like, here, look at my big yabos, as Max would call them. And, he's like, oh, that's cool. So, those noises in your apartment, It's like, what the fuck? But I will say this. I did like the segment, Briggs. I thought they pulled off, when things got scary, they did pull off the scary and creepy scenes very well. Especially for being limited to that medium. It's all through a webcam.
Like, I don't think anything in the sick thing that happened to Emily was scarier than that stabbing in Second Honeymoon, Bo.
Oh my god, I totally disagree with that, but maybe it's because, like, I've totally done those webcam conferences at night and stuff, and it's like, you know what I'm saying? Like, could you imagine? But nah, man,
You've seen the brood working the halls.
Yeah, there you go, Dragon Blue. She says, well, and the fact that he sees what's happening to her, and it's like, well, I'll see you in a few weeks, babe. Like, that's bullshit. It's like, dude, Briggs, I'm telling you right now, man, if I see a fucking demon come up behind you, like, I'm on my way to Tennessee, bro.
Yeah, the character dynamic in that short was the sickest thing about it, I thought. Probably the most memorable thing, too.
Yeah. So next up... Oh, go ahead, brother.
I will say it's the least justifiable one to be on VHS, a fucking Skype call.
It is. That's a really good point. Like, that's some things that pull me out of the series sometimes, is like the technicalities of it. It's like, man, this took place on a... And I remember saying that. I say it at the beginning of every time I watch VHS. Like, to whoever I'm watching it with, I'm like, how the fuck... I wouldn't even know, and I'm a tech-savvy guy. I wouldn't even know how to go about transferring, like, shit to VHS. Like, how do you transfer a digital file to VHS? Like, you're going to have to pull some Elgato bullshit on that. Like, you know, yeah, man. The next one, though, man, is one that I think we both like, and that is called 10/31/98. Takes place on Halloween, obviously. A group of friends go to a haunted, or a house party. They get there, and they're like, is this even the right place? And it's like, they just walk in anyway. And turns out that, like, a ritual is being held upstairs, where a young lady is being sacrificed or something, it looks like. Exorcised, turns out, is what was going on. But, they free her from the clutches of this, what they think is a cult, and escape with her. And, man, they totally freed a demon.
But we don't know that until the very end.
You don't. Because the chick is screaming and crying the whole time.
And everything before that is just chaos. Like, we don't know what's haunting this house, what it's actually after. Like, the dude bros think it's all a prank at first, and I love how it's just so creepy in the beginning. They're exploring the house, and they're just ribbing each other the whole time. Yeah. They get up, and they start chanting along with this ritual that's going on upstairs.
Yeah, thinking it's a damn party or something, you know.
And it just goes silent.
Yeah.
Like, and they all look at them at once.
And that's something that's really cool too, man. Because while they're walking through the house, like, things are happening, like, things are moving by itself, whatever. It's like a haunted house or something like that. And these guys think it's for Halloween. Like, oh my god, this is the best haunted house I've ever been to. No, dude, totally legit supernatural shit going on.
I love the visual effects in this one. Yeah. Like, it blends so well, and like the VHS grain, they use it to cover where it's more obviously CGI. And everything just keeps moving. We keep seeing shit that's flying around. Mm-hmm. It's just a really well-directed segment. It's by the same guys that did Ready or Not and Scream 5.
Oh, okay. Very nice on the Ready or Not, man. And yeah, Dragon Blues here says, I thought this one had some initial issues. For instance, I would not have believed I was at the right house with no one there, but it really ended up to be a fun one. So yeah, there is, you do have to suspend some disbelief there because they get to the house, like I said, and they're all like, are we even at the right place? And they just walk in and no one's even there. So it's like, I mean, it looks like it's empty until they hear the chanting later, but very cool one, man. So, Briggs, I'm going to give VHS, the first one, a thumbs up. I thought the Hoodlums wraparound was lackluster, but had potential. And, Amateur Night was good. Second Honeymoon was lackluster to me. Tuesday the 17th was fucking rough. The Emily segment was good, and the last segment with the aliens was cool, man. Or the haunted house. Excuse me, the haunted house. The haunted house was really cool, I thought.
VHS, the first one, it's anywhere from the 6.5 to maybe a 7.5 range. Like, it's right up there at like a 7. It's got 3 gems in it, I think, and like 2 kind of like throwaways.
I agree. I think
it's the best of the series for sure. It's the one I voted for up in the poll up there.
Oh, I feel you. And yeah, if you folks have not participated in our poll yet, you totally should. We're going to figure out tonight what is the best VHS movie. But yeah, Briggs, I think, we're in agreement, man. We each like 3 pretty well, and then, 2 are just lackluster, man. So, Bloody Disgusting, seeing the dollar signs, it didn't take them long before they were like, hell yeah, we're onto something, man. Let's milk the shit out of it.
And so they made SVHS.
Yes, what as Briggs like to refer to as SVHS, but officially it was titled VHS 2. And I do remember when they were thinking about calling it SVHS, and I thought that was really cool and clever. I was like, man, I gotta give it to that one. And then they just went with VHS 2, which was a letdown already, but that's okay, man. So VHS 2. In this one, the wraparound follows a group of private investigators. Now, we already know that these are some unethical private investigators from, a scene that takes place early on in the beginning, but they've been hired by one of the hoodlums' mothers from the first VHS to find her son. He was a member of that group of people who were doing naughty things. So these private investigators are a couple, and they decide to take this job on, and they go to the kids' dorm room. And the husband's like, here is a stack of VHS tapes, honey. You should look at those VHS tapes while I explore the rest of this dorm room. And for whatever reason, she does. And then it turns out that, like, the kid was saying, like, they found some tapes of him. He's like, if you watch these sequences in order, something will happen. He ends up killing himself on camera, or trying to. He doesn't die. And then we find out that he was recording everything that transpired inside of the dorm room. And the couple, the private investigators, are actually being recorded and becoming part of their own VHS segment. And they get killed. And this is a horrible fucking wraparound.
Well, I mean, maybe so, but it's definitely the best one in the series, I thought. Like, it's the only one where you have a character that stands out. It's the only one where the plot, I feel, really comes to a satisfying conclusion. It wasn't totally corny like the latter two, but
I think I'm definitely, man, I might have to disagree with you on that. I don't think it was the best. I think one thing I had a problem with was it was really hard for me to take that kid seriously the whole time. He's like bent over, talking into his camera with a hoodie on, like, and the hood up. I mean, it looked like he was about to drop, like, he's about to challenge Eminem to a rap battle or some shit.
He looked like the kind of guy who would collect VHS in the year 2013, dude. Come on.
He did. He totally did. But, man, yeah, it was pretty rough, though. Like, the setup and everything, like, with the couple, you know, it just didn't make sense whatsoever. And then it was totally like, why do we care if either of them die? They were assholes, but not asshole enough to where it's like, I want to watch them die. And the husband didn't care about his own wife. You kind of get the hint she wasn't crazy about him. It's like,
now hold up, I didn't get the sense they were husband and wife. I thought they were just partners.
I thought they were a couple.
I didn't think so.
I may be wrong on that then, but I thought they were a total couple.
I don't know. I mean, I just liked kind of like the naughty factor of it all. Like, these guys, they weren't just like collectors looking to make a buck. These guys were like trying to like blackmail people. I mean, that were previewing the footage. They were trying to get dirt on whoever the hell they could.
Yeah, so that would have been cool if it would have followed them more, not given a hoodlum from VHS 1, which in and of itself has a bad wraparound, his own damn wraparound in part 2. Like, he doesn't need that dedicated to him, but Briggs, let's go ahead and go into talking about Suspending Disbelief, man.
I thought it was kind of like grotesque in a good way. Like, he shot his own jaw off. Oh. And now he's just wandering around forever as a star in his own, like, snuff film.
I like to think so. But man, let's get into
the new flesh.
Long live the new flesh. But man, let's get into Phase 1, clinical trials, which is the first segment. And for this one, folks, you know, the ones we talked about where you have to suspend disbelief, like, how the hell did this find its way onto VHS? You pretty much at this point just have to accept the fact that VHS is found footage. That's it. Yeah. And because even if shit is digital, like the webcam Skype call segment, this one, they just overlay VHS effects over top of them, which makes shit look even worse.
This is a recording from a man's artificial eye that has found its way onto VHS.
Yes, so this guy is basically receives a new eyeball, and it's being monitored. Some kind of new technology, and the doctors and shit want to monitor it, so it has a recording system put in the eyeball, and this eyeball allows him to see ghosts around him. And that's the plot.
That's it.
That's it, folks. And it is a blatant, I don't give a fuck what anyone says, this is a blatant ripoff of an anthology segment from John Carpenter's Body Bags. Very similar plot.
Body Bags at least had his eye flashing back to like suspenseful scenes from the other man's past. Like Phase 2 clinical trials just has them standing around looking very obviously spooky.
Yeah, like I'm telling you folks, man, this one is really rough. There's scenes where he thinks someone is in his bed, and of course there's a fucking ghost in your bed, and like he has to check under the sheets twice to figure that shit out. A girl, I don't even want to get into this one. This one's just a bad one. Just avoid it. You know the plot. Like, there is nothing.
And it's another one of those where the comic relief is just really out of place and really goddamn campy. Yeah. And it doesn't work for a found footage movie.
Yeah, let me tell you something, man. If y'all want to watch this segment, but a far superior version, watch John Carpenter's Body Bags with Mark Hamill strangling his wife. But you know, man,
David Warner is a hair doctor. Rest in peace.
Oh yes, he is. He's going to give Richard style. But yeah, JK, I would love to. JK says he totally disagrees with us on our assessment of this segment. I would love to hear what you have to say about Phase 1 clinical trials, JK.
I thought it could have been a short and simple ghost story, but they watered it down with so much, like, many cheesy jokes and, like, the girl coming by, and she happens to have an implant that helps her hear spirits
stuff. Yeah.
And then she wants to have sex with her main character out of nowhere, and she wants painkillers and
yeah. Well, and let me tell you, man, like that could have came up. Like that could have been done better. That could have came up more naturally. She was young. Maybe she likes to party. So they could have, if they absolutely had to have that shit in there, they could have incorporated it. But they did it in such a bad way. She's like, "Hey, you're seeing ghosts, right? Do you have any beer? What about some painkillers?" It's like, what? And then all of a sudden, when they're in the living room together, he's like, "Oh my God, I don't want to scare you, but there's something behind you." And she's like, "I know who it is. It is my uncle. I know what he wants." And then she takes off her shirt and has sex with it. It's fucking, get out of here with this segment, man. It's such a joke.
You know how we can make him go away?
Yeah. There you go, Briggs. But man, it gets even worse, Briggs. It gets worse than this.
They just pull her into the damn pool. She doesn't die for any, like, plot relevant reason. She just, like, dies in the next scene.
Yeah, she inhales water. The inhalation of water is her downfall. Briggs. Oh man, JK says it was a short and simple ghost story about how when you mess with your biology, you invite bigger problems.
I wish there'd been kind of more of a focus on him losing control gradually then, instead of it all piling on all at once.
Yeah, and he ends up removing that eye anyway, and it doesn't help him. And the girl also reveals to him, she's like, you know, you can take the eye out. That just means you don't see them. It doesn't mean that they're not there. So even had he not messed with his body, they were still around him.
And like, why did he do that after she specifically told him that, and she has proven to be knowledgeable on this matter?
Yeah, man, it's super weird. Like, she even warns him, like, yeah, don't give them attention. The more attention you give them, the more powerful they get, and they can manipulate shit. And like, he totally ignores her. Like, it's really silly. But Briggs, let me tell you something, man. It gets worse. It gets worse than this segment. It only goes down because the next one we get is A Ride in the Park, which features a guy who, instead of having sex with his girlfriend, instead of having dinner with his girlfriend, excuse me, which, hey, if he's lucky, may have led to sex later. You know, so that's still a possibility, folks. Instead of having dinner or lunch or breakfast or whatever with his girlfriend, he blows her off to go on a quick bike ride. And while on this bike ride, he's attacked by zombies out of nowhere, and then becomes a zombie himself. And the whole segment is essentially filmed through his GoPro. And I also wonder, Briggs, like, why the hell did he have a GoPro facing his face?
Fuck if I know, dude. Maybe he just wanted to remember how happy he was.
I'm going to start doing that, man. Like, I'm just going to start walking around recording myself. People come up, dude, you a TikToker? You fuck no, I'm just recording how happy I am, bro. I don't remember this shit. But no, man. So VHS 2, a Ride in the Park, is we're through a GoPro, and for any of you who have watched early GoPro footage, you know what a torture that is in general when people are doing really cool shit, like, you know, killing dragons or surfing or whatever. But you know, this one, man, we have to watch a dude ride a bike on it, get attacked by zombies, and then run around as a zombie and ends up at like a birthday party and attacks them. And very terrible segment, Briggs. Like, they try to do things for comedic value and it just falls flat.
Like, it's the most bland, basic premise for a segment I think I've seen in one of these films, and it's not even executed with any finesse. Like, it's all like grunting, growling sounds. There's no like good chase sequences. the scene where they actually invade the birthday party is just kind of very boringly filmed, and eventually, despite turning into this like total like snarling animal of a zombie, he gets a call from his girlfriend again and decides to take his own life
as a zombie.
Yes.
So, yeah, man, there's not much to be said about this one. This has to be this is bottom of the barrel tier in my book.
Yeah, like this, the films definitely got worse than VHS 2, but the first two segments in are definitely contenders for the worst that the series has to offer, in my opinion. It's only kind of tempered because the latter two segments in VHS 2 are actually really solid, and the one that comes up next might be either the best the series has to offer or in the top 3 somewhere.
Well, the next one we're going to discuss is definitely, I would say, Amateur Night, the vampire, gargoyle, demon, whatever woman we discussed from VHS 1, has to be the most popular. But very marginally, man, because Safe Haven from VHS 2 is one of the most talked about for sure. It's right up there, dude.
And it's not hard to see why, because it spreads its characters out so much, and it like keeps the suspense going in each kind of like plot stream, and something different happens in each plot line. We get subplots about the people who are filming. It's basically a documentary on this doomsday cult that they're kind of trying to be on the low about catching certain parts of.
Yeah.
But at the same time, we start to realize that this cult has other plans for these filmmakers. And suddenly, when an alarm sounds, things take a turn. And it gets especially bad for a female like documentary filmmaker among the group. She is pregnant by one of the crew that's not her husband.
Yeah.
And she starts showing signs of this baby coming very soon. Soon after she puts on this necklace that one of the cult members offers her.
Yeah. And she gives birth to a demon baby. Essentially. And, you know, this one, man, it is... I'm going to tell you what, I don't know the name of the fella who is the actor of the main cult leader, Papa, or whatever the hell they were calling him. Or Father, I believe it was. I don't know his name, but he is the best actor of the entire franchise.
Yeah,
he did a phenomenal job.
Yes, like, the man has, like, this wild, like, crazed side to him, but at the same time, kind of like a smooth, characteristic, charismatic killer. And it's more than just that. Like, this whole, the whole atmosphere the compound brings with it. Like, when we see the alarms start to go off, like, people start to take their own lives in preparation for the arrival of this demon.
Yeah.
It's extremely chaotic. It's fast-paced. It's co-directed by the same guy that did The Raid, Gareth Hugh Evans. And the actual director of Safe Haven has another credit later in the VHS franchise without Evans, and it's like flat out terrible.
Well, you know, man, I will say that this one is like, think about like getting backdoor access to like Jim Jones's cult, man. Like getting to be there on the ground floor and seeing what that looked like, but then incorporate like demons or zombies or whatever into it. It's really, or demons and zombies or whatever. It is really, really cool. And it has a very serious tone to it, and then at the end there is like one comedic element, and oh my god, it lands so perfectly. It's like the cherry on top of the cake. So absolutely love Safe Haven. And another plus for this, after watching the terrible GoPro segment, the whole shtick to this one, as Briggs said, is it's a documentary film crew. So it is still found footage and still in that VHS aesthetic, but with some decent shots. So it's not, shit's not going crazy the entire time.
Mm-hmm. Like, I do love it's got both a great build-up and a great payoff. Like, it's got one of the most dangerous feeling setups to any VHS segments, but it doesn't try and cruise on that. Like, it does have just a wonderful, like, execution followed by that final scene where you're fully in the realm of the paranormal.
Absolutely lovely, man. And, you know, yes, for everyone in the chat right now, the chat is going crazy talking about the raid. The raid, thanks to the Diabolical Doctor here, I have seen it. He introduced me to it, and I love it. I like them both. You know, Hammer Girl and Bat Boy, you got to check those out.
It's absolutely balls to the wall, especially the first one. Like, if you've seen Safe Haven, it's very much the same tempo. Yeah.
And, you know, JK said that he hated this segment, Safe Haven, but being touched by suicide, I admit that I just can't handle it, man. I'm very sorry to hear that, dude. Totally understandable, man. Totally get that.
It's tragic, and I do admire that they didn't try and do much that was really campy with this one. I like that they tried to keep it mostly serious throughout.
Oh, absolutely.
It really touches on how tragic it is for somebody to be taken in by a cult or to kill themselves for any reason.
Yeah. And Briggs, you know, now leading into the next one, this is the last segment on the VHS2 train, baby, is Slumber Party Alien Abduction, which I love this segment. I really like this one, dude. So it follows a group of kids who have a camcorder, and they're just trying to make silly backyard videos and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. They invite their friends over to spend the night and everything. So it gives you that feeling when I talked about the beginning of this podcast, man, you know, that VHS nostalgia feel. It gives you that feeling right away, man. At least it does for me, because like I said, I used to run around the backyard and try to make my own movies. And, you know, also, they have a slumber party. These kids are spending the night, you know, hanging out with their friends, man. There's nothing like that when you rented a shit ton of movies and your friends spent the night, man. You just plowed through them all night long on a horror movie marathon. You know, so they do this, and, you know, they're having this party, this slumber party, and they're doing, it's very realistic, the way young kids would act. They're screwing with each other, you know, constantly playing pranks on their older sisters, stuff like that. All of a sudden, all hell breaks loose. Like, the house starts shaking, there's crazy lights coming in through the windows, and there's fucking aliens outside, seemingly out of nowhere, Briggs. Like, this shit just goes haywire all at once. And the aliens abduct them. The aliens are killing everybody, man. Even the dog dies. And this one, you know, it's a wild ride.
Yeah.
You know,
like, this one, I think it's underrated, like, because it doesn't have that oomph factor like something like Amateur Night. It's kind of just there, and it's, of course, Safe Haven's going to be a tough act to follow, but it's certainly the second best thing that VHS 2 has to offer, and as far as just the segments in general go, I think it's most certainly in the top half. Like, I'm glad that you did. I'm glad that you appreciated that the child actors played it kind of realistically. They didn't feel like they were trying to play out a stereotype.
Yeah.
This is one that felt like it was actually found footage.
Absolutely.
Like a scene from somebody's family life, and kind of like quite the atmospheric one, like kids home alone with their older siblings while the parents are away.
Yeah, it felt like man, this could have happened to you as a kid.
Mm-hmm.
Is exactly what it felt like. And I totally agree with that, man. Like, the kids are, some might say that the kids are loudmouthed and foul-mouthed and it's over. No, that's exactly how you get a group of little boys together. It starts off with them trying to make their own backyard movie with like stupid, goofy-looking robots they made out of boxes, and then they're just cussing and talking about boobies and everything. It's the truth.
And I like the fact that they kind of foreshadowed the plot of you see the dog getting digested by aliens in their backyard movie, and it ends with the dog just getting casually tossed back down to Earth by these creatures. Like, it's dark, dude.
Yeah.
Like, millions of thousands of horror movies throughout history have killed off animals, but damn, just the coldness of the final image of Slumber Party Alien Abduction.
God. Yeah, because they have the kids attached a GoPro to a dog at one point. So eventually, crazily enough, man, if you can even picture this, you're watching footage captured by a dog. And that's one reason why it's so damn realistic. It's not somebody running around with a camcorder anymore. It's the camera they put on the damn dog, and it's like... And then he gets sucked up into the air and then dropped back to Earth, and you're just watching the dog laying there covered in blood, shaking. It's like, it's so realistic, man. It's like...
The only thing that I kind of like didn't dig so much on a rewatch is the dog stays way too fucking calm throughout most of the film. For what's going on.
You never know though, man. Different dogs react different ways. Some might run and hide, and some might be skittish enough to like stay by their master and just like, oh fuck, what do we, who knows, dude? But I thought it was pretty cool. I was like, man.
Yeah.
But Briggs, now it's time that we talk about. Oh, go ahead.
What would you give like VHS 2 overall, man?
Overall.
Thumbs up, thumbs down?
I would give... You know what, man? I'm going to give VHS 2 a thumbs up. Even though, I wasn't a fan of, a few of the things in there. But Slumber Party, Alien Abduction, and Safe Haven are so good.
I'm glad you appreciate Slumber Party Alien Abduction. A lot of people, like, for whatever the fuck reason, they think that's one of the weaker ones.
I can't believe that. I know I've liked it. I was telling Anna when we rewatched them, I'm like, some of these I remember like snippets of, and Slumber Party Alien Abduction was one of the ones I really remembered, because I like it. So, yeah, so... What about you, man? You're going thumbs up as well?
This one I would go down to like a 5.5 thereabouts. Like,
okay, so a good solid point drop, or maybe even 2?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, it's definitely got gems in it, like Safe Haven and Slumber Party Alien Abduction, but the other two are just they're just so like worthless, I think. Like, it's hard getting through them to get to the good stuff.
Yeah, I hear you, man, but you're still going thumbs up, right?
Yeah, I would still give it a thumbs up.
Okay, cool. Well,
98 knows what's coming.
Oh,
now it's truly downhill from now with the series.
Well, next up, we get good old VHS Viral. Now, oh my god, dude. Once again, let me turn the audio down so people can enjoy the trailer while we give a rundown of this one. And yes, this is the worst VHS.
Your mileage may vary.
This is to me, this is definitely the worst VHS. So this one starts off with an ice cream truck wraparound. There's an ice cream truck that's just rolling around through downtown Los Angeles, and it apparently is playing VHS tapes from the back of it and streaming them to the internet, and it's driving people insane and causing them to, like, I know at one point it shows like a group of Mexicans at a backyard get together. They kill each other. They end up killing each other. There's a chick in a taxi cab who turns on the man she's in the taxi with and kills him. And so definitely a weird wraparound. By far the worst in the franchise. And that's really saying something, folks. Like,
oh yeah, like heavy Creep Show 3 vibes on that ice cream truck, let me tell you.
Oh my god. Yeah, by the time we get to the end, the guy who is following this ice cream truck, like, the people are trying to follow the ice cream truck and get footage of it on their cell phones or whatever in hopes that, like, they're going to capture the cops chasing it and their footage of that will go viral because, you know, that happens in real life. But he has to upload all the footage in the truck to the internet, and
they lured him to this crashed ice cream truck for the purpose of flipping one fucking switch in the back.
Yeah, it's really, really better. Holy shit. It's really bad. Pinhead 198 really threw me off here, folks, because, I mean, oh my god, I thought Briggs and I were the only people who had seen this fucking movie, but he says Creep Show 3 was better than this garbage. And for those of you who don't know, you know, I threw out a James Doodleson and Anne Clavell joke earlier. They are a couple of people who pick up domains once they have expired and then abuse the shit out of them. And one of the films they did that with was Creep Show. They got their hands on the the name of Creep Show and made a Creep Show 3, and oh my god, it's one of the worst things I've ever seen, Briggs. But this wraparound, man, is the worst by far in any of the VHS segments. Just fucking fast forward. Anytime you hear ice cream truck music, just fast forward. Yeah, so Briggs, I'm just going to go ahead and jump right into our first segment, if that's cool with you.
I love DOD's comment, only the bold get the creamy cold, from a haunting hour segment about a fat kid who's obsessed with his mystery ice cream truck going around his neighborhood. Creep Show, their VHS Viral's wraparound is the exact same kind of vibe, DOD.
Oh my god. Yeah, man. Grassman Nightmare says, Creep Show 3, what? Have I been living under a rock? Yes, sir, it does exist. Unfortunately.
You better stay under that rock, Grassman.
It is not official. Like I said, somebody, that group of people picked that shit up and then abuse it, and they put out a Creep Show 3, man. And it is, I couldn't even sit here and begin to describe to you the segments in Creep Show 3, dude. Just don't. Just don't even. Unless you want to watch it just to say you've seen it, my friend. Like, oh my god. But Briggs, so our first segment of Viral is Dante the Great. Which I'm going to tell you right now, folks, VHS is really, this one doesn't live up to the name. They officially jumped the shark with Viral, man, because this is one where they don't even try to do found footage anymore. Like, forget the damn VHS aesthetic. There's moments in this one where they don't even try to do found footage.
Oh no, like take any given moment in this film, ask yourself, like, why is someone filming this, and who is holding the camera? And like for like half the film, it's either one or both those questions you won't be able to answer.
No, absolutely not. And not only that, but there are moments in the movie that are, I mean, literally, they didn't even try. It's not even found footage. It's like there's no cameras there, so it turns into a traditional movie format, and it's jarring. It's odd, but
it did not belong on a VHS segment, but it is for sure the best segment that VHS Viral has to offer, just because, like, the idea of a killer magician with a cape that gives him actual magic does make for some funny scenes, and it makes for a fun as hell, like, magical duel to climax the whole thing. It just didn't belong here.
Yeah, let me tell you. So the first segment is Dante the Great, and it follows a magician, like some dude who used to live in a trailer park doing like backyard magic tricks, and he couldn't get him to work. He was a bumbling fool. And then he comes across this magical cape. I don't remember how the hell he got his hands on it, but he does. And it's rumored that Harry Houdini once owned this cape himself and got rid of it because it scared him. Well, Dante gets this cape, and it's legitimate. Like, he can do whatever the hell he wants. Like, he can teleport people, he can fly, he can walk on walls, he can... anything. But I'm going to tell you, Briggs, I thought this one was so piss poor of a segment. Like, I get what you're saying with the fun factor. At least there's some fun and cheesy ass moments in there, but oh my god, like, what the hell is it doing in a VHS movie, number one? And number two, it's not a good story. Like, the story is not good whatsoever. It's just like some of the effects you get are fun, and that's it. Like, you know, it's like, yeah, the story's just bad, man. And there are moments where all the cameras get taken out, and there's like, it goes into traditional film format all of a sudden, and it's like, what? Like, why did we make that jump? So, not the worst segment of them, but Dante the Great, that is your official rundown. Next, Briggs. And this is one, you know, I talked about those snippets I remember from these movies. This one has one of those for me. It's called Interdimensional... Well, I don't know what the hell it's called, but I titled it Interdimensional Demons.
It's just Parallel Monsters.
Parallel Monsters. There you go. So it's this dude in his basement, and he has like a basement laboratory where he's making some kind of machine that allows him to open up portals to other dimensions. And he opens up a portal, and he sees himself, or what appears to be himself, standing on the other side. And it turns out a scientist of the exact makeup as him from another dimension was working on the same type of machine, and they both figured it out at the same time and led them to this moment.
But there are two crucial differences with this parallel universe, dude. I bet anybody who hasn't seen the film will never guess what those two key differences are.
I guarantee it, because one of them is a demon dick. Yes.
Everybody in the mirror world just has mutant genitals. Like, the male genitals basically look like a hand puppet. They look like a snubby little graboid tongue. The female genitals look like a clam with a million little, like, tendrils.
Yeah, like a Venus flytrap or something, like. So
their eyes glow when they're in the midst of arousal.
Oh my god. And
the government is run by Satanists.
Yes. So, yeah, so like they decide that they're going to switch places for 15 minutes, and then they get to come back to their own dimension, you know, just to check it out. So like our
architecture, all the same.
Yeah.
Like people's faces, all the same.
Yeah. Oh my god. Yeah. Now I will say, yeah, Dragon Blue says here, like, when he tried to pull out his demon penis and boop that guy with it, just boop him right on the nose, man. Like he had a strong hand or some shit, Briggs. Like, I'm telling you, man. So this one has demon penises and killer Venus flytrap clam vaginas, but it's another one of those things. It's like a really cool concept. Like, I think we can admit that, like, it's a cool concept, Briggs, but the execution.
It's definitely the most well shot of the segments from VHS Viral. It's just, you wonder when the twist is going to come in, and the twist is just so, like, unsubtle that it kind of, like, ruins the build-up to it.
Well, and it totally makes sense. Like, this one makes sense as to why there would be cameras involved, too, because this dude's, like, a scientist trying to film his shit working, and then, like, hell yeah, if you get to go to another dimension, I'm going to film it the whole time. I'll be on TalkHorror Live showing that shit off. Like, look what I found, people. There's a Satanist dimension or something, but these people have demon genitals. Look at this. But, dude, oh my god, it's like, yeah, it's not even worth fucking commenting on. Good god, people don't watch VHS Viral.
This dude, like, at the center of the story, it's a man who goes to a seemingly perfectly similar dimension, and just him and his counterpart totally ruining each other's lives by, 15 minutes of interaction.
Yeah, they totally do. Instead of watching this, watch the Simpsons Treehouse of Horror episode where Homer accidentally goes back in time via the toaster. And he's like not supposed to step on anything, or everybody's wondering if this is like an off-brand porno. It's not even that quality. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, Briggs, no. This ain't even, I mean, I don't even know. This ain't even the Walking Dead XXX tier, Briggs. You know what I'm saying? Like, but I'm telling you, people, if you're still here and you're still watching, God, I don't know why you would on a VHS franchise discussion topic night, but if you are, God be with you, because it gets worse. It gets worse.
Not worse than that.
Briggs, I'm telling you, man. Next we get to Skater. I titled this on my list here. I call it Skater Boys.
It's called Bone Storm, Steve.
It can be called Shit Pile at the End of the Earth. I don't care, because
Steve didn't like it.
I mean, shit, they're all so bad, but it's like at least this one has some action, but then again, they even mess that up. So let me tell you what. So Skater Boys, or as Briggs like to call it, Bone Storm, or aka Shit Pile Storm at the End of the Earth, is about these kids who hire somebody to film their skating video. And they, ruin all the places around them. Like, they get kicked out. They're in Cali or whatever. So they decide to go to Tijuana. After a very brief discussion, and they go to Tijuana, and they skate at this place, and one of them gets hurt while skating and spills blood conveniently on like a damn satanic marker or something that's been drawn on the ground. His blood starts to boil, and then people start turning into zombies. Like, a cult tries to come and kill him. He kills them. The boys kill them, and one of the boys has a pistol, which don't even ask me how the fuck he got that across the border, because I can't be the one to tell you, my friends, but I can't even take my pistol to Virginia, let alone to Tijuana. But let me tell you, man. So they kill these cult members. They come back as zombies. And Briggs, at one point, these guys are riding skateboards and killing zombies. And one of them stops to hit play on his iPhone. So that way they can kill zombies to a soundtrack. And then it cuts in like skate video style editing. Like, there's slow motion shots of them hitting zombies with a skateboard. There's, like, freeze frames. There's... they start throwing around CGI firecrackers.
So daft.
It's like... yeah, man. What? Like, what the fuck am I watching here? But hey, at least action.
I will never call VHS Viral the worst in the VHS series, simply because, if nothing else, it is so bad it's good. Like,
oh god, Briggs has been in the sauce, people.
The fact that we have skater boys who snuck guns into Tijuana, murder like this entire throng of cultists, only to have them come back as skeletons that they beat with their skateboards, to a soundtrack to like early 2000s video effects.
Yeah, it's like Windows Movie Maker effects, like.
Let me tell you, there was originally a fourth segment.
Oh, Briggs, now he's getting... Listen at him getting into... People, it's a fabled segment, Briggs.
And it would have ruined everything because it took itself too fucking seriously.
Oh my god, yeah, so in case you people didn't know, Gorgeous Vortex is the official title of... I don't know what the hell they call it. The lost segment, the deleted segment. I don't know. It doesn't end up in the official film. But if you wait past the credits, you get to watch it. And this is in no way, shape, or form whatsoever found footage. Like, this is... It is very pretty to watch, I'll give it that. Like, it has great cinematography, great lighting, all that. What the fuck? Why is it included on VHS? Like, why was that even a thing? Like, it's like somebody completed a short film and they didn't know what to do with it. Bloody Disgusting's like, well, if you want somebody to see it, we'll put it on our movie. Like some hillbilly horror show kind of shit. Like,
but we did see the shots, certain shots in the film did start to get grainy and pixelated, and it did look like VHS. It did look like VHS footage for part of the film. So
yeah, but man, and it follows like a model and her group of model friends who have been killed by somebody who she allows to eat her vagina at one point in the movie.
We can assume that because there's no dialogue.
There's no dialogue. There's barely any music. It's very subtle, very artsy. It's it's pretty.
You can imagine what went on between the director and Brad Misko when he turned this segment down.
No shit. Like, but still included it. So it's like, what happened there? But yeah, so that's Gorgeous Vortex, and that is VHS Viral. Don't watch it. It is a very much so a thumbs down.
I would say watch it if you like something that's totally corny, like it's better than Creepshow 3. So watch it over Creepshow 3 for sure.
But you'll admit it's bad. Like, Briggs is in the, like, you know, if, like, I got super drunk or super high and I could laugh at it. Like, that's Briggs's rating, right? That's it. You know, but
that's VHS Viral. Don't you want to be part of something bigger than yourself?
Oh, my God. Oh, my God, dude. Yeah, so that's a major thumbs down for me, man. Now, time had passed, people. Oh, wait. Well, I got to see some comments here, man. We see, let's see. Dragon Blue says that Gorgeous Vortex looked like a music video. It absolutely did. It looked like, I don't know, some Lorna Shore in this moment could play at any moment. Shroom Trooper, glad to still have you here, brother man. DOD wants to know if you've got that drink, Briggs.
No, and sadly, no shrooms either. But I hope I hope we're providing you a good trip, Mr. Tripper.
Oh man. Okay, Briggs. So, yes, Grassman Nightmare asks, so it's best to be messed up while watching, if you're going to watch it at all. Now, there are tons. Yeah. There are thousands of other cheesy good movies you could watch while you're messed up. So, like, Briggs is saying, like, he could, like, that's the only way he could suggest it, is if you were, like, trashed and had absolutely nothing else to, like, if you were on a fucking desert island and VHS viral washed up ashore beside of you, you could, and you happen to be drunk or stoned as hell. Like, you could.
I could not say that about the next film on our list.
Oh my God. See, okay, so I think we're going to disagree on this one, man. So next up is VHS 94. Now, Briggs, time had passed. A decent bit of time had passed.
In reverse, now it's back to 94.
Oh, no, I'm saying, like, after VHS viral, the franchise went silent. Like,
radio silent?
Yes, radio silent. And then VHS 94 was announced, and it's backed by not only Bloody Disgusting, but now they're getting that Shudder money.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, man. And you know what, man? This one I liked. I thought after going through some of the other ones and being, maybe, you could say it's where, after I watched Viral, I watched this. I don't know. But hey, man. Okay, so the wraparound in this one follows like a SWAT team who are going on like a drug bust.
Yeah, don't trust Bo. He's been infected by Rotma.
Yeah, exactly. So this SWAT team that goes on a drug bust, they get to like this warehouse and they find a bunch of VHS tapes and people dead and crazy shit going on and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. And man, turns out a couple members of the SWAT team were trying to make their own VHS movie. And they kill off members of, fellow members of the team or whatever. I actually liked this one, Briggs. Like, I thought the funny stuff that was meant to be funny was actually fun. Like, stuff that was actually meant to be funny was funny. And stuff that was meant to be scary was scary.
Like, the wraparound to VHS 94, if you removed all of the dialogue, like, that would be some creepy ass footage, I think. But
the wraparound is the worst part of VHS 94.
I just love the conclusion to this wraparound, because that's when the dialogue it really takes another level, and we get some snippets of what may just be the lore of the franchise, dude. It may be that the creator of the circulator of these VHS tapes, this whole time it might have been girls in white suits fucking shit up.
Oh, who knows, man? Yeah, the wraparound is the weakest part of VHS 94, man. But I think, like, when they did VHS 94, they knew what they were doing. Like, they knew what they were going for. They had accepted what they are and just went for it. Like, okay, so the first one, I'm not exactly sure what it's titled, but I have it titled as Storm Drain.
That's it.
Okay, that's it. So a news reporter is sent out to do a story about this cryptid type creature. It's like a creature that some people have reported seeing living in the sewers. Like, it's a half man, half rat hybrid, and she goes out there with her cameraman to cover the story and just look around, and they come to find out, man, people are living in these sewer drains, or storm drains, whatever the hell you want to call them, in the sewers. And upon investigation, like, these people are totally helping Rotma, who is our resident cryptid, half man, half human hybrid. And dude, these people in the storm drains are treating him like he's a deity or something. And
it just comes out of fucking nowhere.
I thought it was fun. I was like, so I thought it was really fun because, keep in mind that this is a newscast, and then like they cut to her co-anchor or whatever, like, now we're going to go show footage of Sarah, who was just rescued from a storm drain. And then it's like, just shows her standing in a storm drain with dirt on her face, and he's just like, startling. And then it comes back, and it's like, it's got her on there, and like, she pukes up black shit, and then she's like, she spits it on his face, which melts his face off like acid, and then she's like, hell Rotma. So I thought that was it was funny. And in that style, man, what I thought was really cool with this, the way they did VHS 94 was they have cuts in the material that shows infomercials. So it's like you're actually watching TV or commercials you would have recorded had you made your own VHS mixtape back in the day when you used to record the television. Yeah. And it's like, here we have the veggie masher, and it's just somebody using a machine to crush the shit out of vegetables. It's like, I thought it was cool, man, and they totally took it and ran with it. They did not take themselves seriously whatsoever on VHS 94, and it worked. Like,
I think you and I have opposite opinions on 94 and Viral, is basically what I think, dude.
Oh my god, really? Oh, Daughter of Death says she can see me doing horror ASMR. Thank you, DOD. Yeah. But man, no, I thought that was, I thought it was a really cool site. You didn't like it?
I thought Storm Drain was okay. It didn't, like, impress me that much, but it would be up there in the upper half, I think.
Okay.
And I will give you that the next one on the list, Empty Wake, it was the only segment from the latter two films that I actually found scary or unnerving, like, significantly.
So you actually liked Empty Wake?
Empty Wake was the high point of 94 for me.
Okay, and just real quick here, Pinhead 198 agrees with me, Briggs. He says infomercials were a good touch. I agree with me. I totally agree with me, Bruce.
I could take or leave the Slap Chop commercial, dude.
Yeah, you don't hell Rotma, Briggs. Something bad's going to happen to you. Okay, man. So on the next one, Empty Wake follows this female employee of a funeral home, and she has been entrusted to watch over the funeral home for the night because they have set up video cameras, some camcorders, to record the wake of someone's loved one, which is pretty crazy. But so I've seen it done, but pretty creepy too on this particular night because it comes a big storm, like there's a tornado warning out, and so she's in this empty funeral home all by herself watching this corpse while video cameras film it, and then she begins to hear noises coming from inside the coffin as the storm really begins to kick up outside and the tornado is getting ever closer. The noises inside the coffin grow louder, Briggs, until eventually something does come out of that coffin. And like, this corpse is pretty mangled inside of the coffin, and its head falls off at one point, and this girl, not knowing what in the hell to do, tries to hide the best she can while this corpse stumbles around inside an empty funeral home searching for her. And then the tornado comes, and it really messes up the funeral home and everything as well, and totally knocking out the power, so...
Like, I thought the corpse itself was definitely creepy. I thought the fact that the big twist at the end where it's walking and she thinks she's kind of like giving it the slip, and it's decapitated, like half head, it's one usable eye pops open and it turns back for her. I thought that was really...
Oh, man, yeah.
But, like, I definitely rank it lower than something like Slumber Party, Alien Abduction. It's kind of like, it's mid-tier for me, and it's the best I think the VHS 94 really had going for it.
Well, you know, I mean, but it is vastly different from something like Slumber Party, Alien Abduction, where that's a little bit, we'll say, hyper. Yeah. You know, it's real fast-paced. Empty Wake is really suspenseful, and it's scary. Watch Empty Wake without your lights on for full effect, for sure. I mean, that's,
I just thought there wasn't enough build-up in it, like, to fully, like, make use of the premise. I thought, like, we only heard it, like, knock on the inside of the coffin, like, 2 times, and we got the one dude in the wake who was, like, obviously being kind of creepy, talking about blah, 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 Cerebus.
Yeah.
And, I thought they could have spaced it out a little better, and it had potential, but could have been... It just lacked that extra kick.
I liked it. I mean, I see what you're saying there, but, you know, I liked it. You know, I thought it was pretty creepy, man. I'm glad that you did as well. It just sounds like you didn't like it as much as me.
Yeah.
Gotta hell rot my Briggs.
Hell rot my.
There we go, baby. So next we get The Subject. And this one is, once again, made by your dude from The Raid. Right?
No, not the dude from The Raid. His co-director from Safe Haven, Timo, however the hell you pronounce his last name.
There we go.
Like, in this one, it's a way slower burn for, like, less of a satisfying payoff than Safe Haven, I thought. Like, it's a lot of the dude, like, being Dr. Hyder to his human experiments and just kind of, like, mentally tormenting them, and then SWAT team comes in. Like, they go back and forth on whether to execute this human experiment, and eventually she gets a gun arm, but it's like, at that point, it's been a long build-up for, like, a little bit of gun arm.
Well, yeah, so basically the story is this dude is like a mad scientist doctor type, and his goal is to make a human-machine hybrid. Because he's, like, an expert in, like, technologically advanced... what you call them?
Cyborgs.
Well, what do you call them? Like when people need something, like their fucking arms missing.
The prosthetics.
Prosthetic. There we go. Oh my god, I can't believe that slipped me there. But like he's known for that, making like advanced prosthetics for people. And, so yeah, the SWAT team comes in, you know, there's been murders and missing people in the area. The SWAT team comes in to get him, and they do. But then his machines, his creations come to life and mess up the SWAT team. And this one is really cheesy. It can't be compared to Safe Haven, where Safe Haven is mostly serious, and Safe Haven is the better segment, for sure. But it's silly and gets fun. Like but yeah, I agree. This is probably the weakest segment for me.
It needed a much higher tempo, and I think it could have been shorter, packing just as much punch as it did.
Yeah, and it you know, for if they're going to do things like super fun things, like give someone a machine gun for an arm. You know, we saw Planet Terror where Rose McGowan gets a machine gun for a leg. They did it right. They give this human cyborg hybrid thing the machine gun arm, man, and then CGI the fuck out of everything following, you know, like when there's scenes where she is point blank shooting a guy in the face over and over and over, and some of the bullets aren't even landing. It's just super, if you're going to do stuff like that, you really have to mean it. And I think it's a fun segment. It's not meant to be taken seriously, but it's the weaker segment for me of the group.
They CGI'd her arm, like, touching a door at one point. Like, why the fuck? Like, the character who had the camera for her head, they CGI'd her, like, human arm just to have it, like, clawing at a door.
Yeah, that's pretty rough, man. That is something I have noticed that is pretty blanket statement for the Universal series, or the Universal statement for the VHS series, man. Like, the bad CGI shit, like the CGI firecrackers in VHS Viral. It's like, come on, man.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's not my favorite of VHS 94. Next we get Simply Terror. And this follows a militia who want to take back America and purge it of the evil. So, as you can imagine, like, these people live on like a compound type place where they shoot guns and blow shit up and try to better their militia skills.
Yep.
So what they have done is that they have captured a vampire. And every day they collect this vampire's blood because they have found out, obviously vampires don't like sunlight. And this vampire, if you were to put him in sunlight, he would explode or implode, whatever you want to call it. So they collect his blood, put it in different things like bunny rabbits, stuff like that, set it out in the sun, and boom, bunny rabbit explodes. So they are pumped about finding out this information and being able to do this. And they decide to celebrate because with this new weaponry, they can purge America of the evil. So they get some beer, as sometimes people do, and they begin to drink it up for the night. And, well, that's when bad decisions come into play. And they decide, one of the members of the militia decides, what would be fun is if we go fuck around with that vampire we shot earlier. And they go fuck around with said vampire and get that vampire's blood all over them and turn into vampires themselves or whatever and end up dying. And then they have to, or get attacked by the vampire, whatever. Then the other militia members figure out, like, dude, we have to take care of this vampire situation, and they totally bumble the whole situation up, man. they drop the ball, as it were. Briggs. They end up shooting themselves, each other on accident, like trying to kill this vampire, and until eventually there's like a massive explosion.
Yeah. When this segment first opened, we got the angle of the domestic terrorists. And it was fucking creepy because that sounds like something you'd find on VHS, like this, like, terror group's home tapes and their plans to carry out a massive attack, a massacre. And then it dawned on me, the crosses in the barn and the guy who keeps coming back, we're going to get a vampire element in this thing. And initially I thought it was going to be basically like I Am Legend, or like the story that was based on The Last Man on Earth, where they're actually the good guys and they're trying to take back the world from the vampires.
Yeah.
They didn't, I give them props, all right? They didn't go that cheesy. But the idea of weaponizing a vampire exploding in the sunlight, I could not take it seriously.
Briggs, you're not supposed to, man.
But it could have been a serious segment, like based around an armed militia trying to commit acts of terror.
Dude,
and they turned it into about not even like turning people into vampires to wreak havoc, but literally just turning people into vampires so they can make them into bombs.
Dude, that's badass. Because you get it right away. Like, these people aren't supposed to be the smartest of gentlemen here. And it's like, of course that's what they'd fucking use this vampire. You know, because think about that, man. Like, you could use a vampire for all kinds of shit. Like, hell, you could just reveal that vampires exist and be famous forever. Like, this son of a bitch discovered vampires. Like, you know what I'm saying? And they use it to build bombs. It's hilarious, man. Like, and then you just watch them just bumble it all up when all hell inevitably breaks loose.
It just like that in itself felt so cheap to me. Like, to build them up is kind of like the real threat of the film, and then to have them look, hey, what about we mess with that vampire we got chained up?
Of course. That's because people do shit like that when they're drunk. You know it, and I know it. Like, the poor son of a... Don't be the first person to pass out at a party, man. Don't do it. Of course they're going to come, dude, you don't have the balls to go in there and mess with that vampire. Yes, I do. I'll show you who has the balls around here, buddy. Of course, it was inevitable.
It was one of the weaker ones of the whole series to me.
Oh, Briggs, people get that drink, baby. Like Daughter of Death says, it's totally realistic. No, I liked it. I really liked that segment. I thought it was hilarious. And I'm giving VHS 94 a total thumbs up. Don't watch it thinking don't watch it thinking it's gonna be balls to the wall scary and utterly disturbing and all these other quotes you see from Dread Central and Bloody Disgusting about it. Just watch it and have fun. That's it. You know, you're not going to get a serious movie. Watch it and just know you're going to have fun. Now, the other ones that don't accept what they are, like VHS Viral and no, those are just bad. These are they're like, they know what they are now.
VHS Viral had two segments that were basically like extended action scenes. One with a damn magic cloak and the other one with skaters versus Bone Man. Yeah. I think the problem with 94 is it took itself a little bit too seriously for its execution.
No, man. I think that's the exact opposite of what I think the others, just took themselves too seriously and didn't. 94 is like, fuck it. This is what VHS is now. This is what we're doing with it. Except for the empty wake, which I thought was spooky, man.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you what, Briggs, it doesn't matter what we think. It matters what Pinhead 198 thinks, and he says he totally agrees with me, and that's all that matters. He's, Dragon Blues agrees. But Leanne Risher, the Hallow Queen, wants to know, she hasn't seen any of these VHS movies, Briggs. Should she?
I would say both the first one and the second one are genuinely worth watching for about half of each movie. You'll find like 2 out of 4 good segments in part 2 and like 3 out of 5 good segments in part 1. And if you're in for something like really like awful and corny, check out Viral, because that's where you'll see most of the really cheesy stuff in the franchise.
Leanne, I'm going to, like Briggs said it earlier, like he would never recommend Viral unless he was pissed drunk and all this. I'm telling you, do not watch Viral. Don't. Like, for cheesy fun, there are so many other cheesy fun. You could go watch Reanimator. You could watch Creepshow 2, something like that. Do not watch VHS Viral. You will come back here and you will downvote every fucking video I've ever posted on this channel. You will leave me hateful comments talking about my accent. You will troll me like Tyler Trips and Dies, who comes into a VHS stream and is like, who is your favorite fucking sultan from the Ottoman Empire? Fuck off, Tyler. You will hate us forever. Do not watch VHS Viral. If you do want cheesy fun, watch VHS 94.
Out of the whole franchise, what would you say are your top 5 and your bottom 5 segments?
Oh shit, hold on, Briggs. I closed my list. Let me look. Top 5 and bottom 5 segments. My top 5, oh my god. That's tough, man. Tuesday the 17th has to be a bottom for me. I'll go ahead and start with that because it popped up. And we're not including wraparounds.
No wraparounds. Like they're probably on the bottom of each list or thereabouts.
Briggs, that's a really hard thing for me to do because there's a lot there. It's like sifting through shit. There's a lot of bad here. Good ones, I'll say, Amateur Night, Safe Haven, Slumber Party, Alien Abduction is fantastic. That would have to be in my top. Literally nothing from VHS Viral. That's a whole shit disaster. Yeah, man, I don't know. The sick thing that happened to Emily would be up there for me. Amateur Night, and Slumber Party, Alien Abduction, Safe Haven are going to be up there, dude. But
and the bottom?
Bottom, dude. Hell, you could just throw VHS Viral as my whole bottom. I mean, that's
so Tuesday, all 3 segments, and what other 2?
And then Tuesday the 17th has to make it, probably. Oh my god. Gorgeous Vortex, maybe, just because, like, what the fuck? Like, that doesn't even count. Like, you know what I'm saying?
God.
Let me see here. Leanne Risher says, I actually try to love every horror movie as much as I can. Keeps me happy that way. Heck yeah, it's nice to be happy. She says, I love your accent. I am Canadian. I am West Virginian. And watch Wrong Turn because West Virginian's in Canada. Yeah, Pinhead198 says he noticed no one voted for Viral as their favorite VHS film in the poll, and yeah, there's good reason for that.
10% voted for 94.
Yeah, we can go ahead and end the poll and see what our final results are, man. Which is your favorite VHS movie? VHS, the first one, took 69% of the votes.
No shit.
Then VHS 2 with 20% and VHS 94 with 10. Damn. Okay.
Yeah, like, if I were to name my top 5, the first 3 would definitely be 10/31/98, Safe Haven, and Amateur Night.
Very good.
After that, I might have to name second Honeymoon, and then either Slumber Party, Alien Abduction, or Empty Wake.
Cool, man.
Bottom 5, Phase 2 Clinical Trials and A Ride in the Park would definitely be on there. Parallel Monsters would probably be fucking on there, as would Terror, and maybe I'd throw Tuesday the 17th on there myself.
Oh my god, wow, okay. Wow. Yeah, good night, JK. Thanks for coming in, brother, man, and being part of that horror fan, baby. We love you. Have a great night, dude. Pinhead198 says Siren is the best from VHS, and of course that is the Amateur Night segment with the vampire.
I haven't seen actual Siren, the spinoff.
Oh, okay. I don't know if I have or not. I knew that it got its own. So if any of you wanted to know, the Amateur Night segment of the original VHS did get its own feature-length film, which is entitled Siren. But
I don't know what all it changes. Like, I hear it's plays kind of fast and loose with how the being was portrayed in Amateur Night.
Well, Briggs, I think now, my friend, it is that time where we watched the trailer for VHS 99, which was just released 5 hours ago. Well, probably like 7 now. So, I don't know, man. I hope they keep up, with that fun attitude they had with 94. We'll see. But are you ready to give it a go, my dude?
Get it.
Okay, here we go. 3, 2, 1, play. Okay, man. Before smartphones. Yeah.
We got no audio on this one?
Before selfies. No, we have audio. There was only... VHS, baby. Yeah, hell yeah. What the fuck? Only on Shudder. Yeah, man. So, that left a lot to be desired, Briggs.
I could just make out a few images. Like, some of them looked like the shit we kind of see in part 1, but it's hard to tell with how little we actually saw of it.
Yeah, Grandma's ready to party on this one, man. But I don't know, man. Yeah, we didn't really get a lot of info out of that. It's just a teaser, but I don't know. I really wonder what they're going to cover with VHS 99. Is there going to be like
about that VHS 2004?
Oh my god!
The end.
Yeah, I wonder if like they're going to follow some kind of like doomsday motherfuckers or something. Because if you remember, man, people thought the world was going to end because like the computers supposedly hadn't been programmed to, and literally all that happened when the year 2000 the computer clock just changed. It was like,
well, I mean, people took precautions.
Yeah, that's fucking stupid. Oh, man. So the segments on VHS 99 are going to be entitled Ozzy's Dungeon, which I'm assuming is something to do with Ozzy Osbourne, because I did spot an Ozzy, We Love Ozzy sign in the VHS 99 thing. It was like people in a crowd or something. There's one called Shredding. There's one called The Gawkers, Suicide Bid, and To Hell and Back.
You see, I'm scared of Gawkers.
Yeah, you never know, man. Those looky-loos might be watching us right now, Briggs.
Shit. When you stare too long into VHS, it also stares back into you.
That's right, buddy. Hey, Shroom Trippers, peacing out. We love you, man. Have a good night, brother. And yeah, Leanne, man, go, check out the rest of the stream. We have plenty of other live stream videos we've done with plenty of suggestions. But soon, Anna, Dragon Blues, and myself will be doing a 31 Days of Halloween list, where we will not only give out suggestions on what people should watch for Halloween, but we will take people's suggestions and compile our own list and then watch those suggestions. So,
yes.
Now, I do have two... Yeah, go ahead, Briggs.
Make sure to send in your deep cuts. He's looking for stuff he ain't seen before.
Now, I do have 2 suggestions I'll go ahead and give you as a bonus right now, a little bit of bonus material from the Big Talk Horror. Sitting here right beside of me, because I just got these in the mail today, I have 30 Days of Night. I had to pick that up on Blu-ray, because I didn't own it for some reason, but this is a great vampire flick, really fun, because vampires in the snow, which means you're going to get a lot of bloody, stained snow. It's badass. Ain't that right, Briggs? Yes, Steve, I totally agree with you. Thank you, Briggs. And then next, and I know Briggs is going to be all over this one, Ginger Snaps.
Oh
yeah, baby! I got the collector's edition from Scream Factory on Blu-ray. Ginger Snaps is a great werewolf flick. If you haven't seen it, highly suggest it.
Throw it up there for October.
Absolutely, man. That is one I do like to watch. Typically, I add it on my 31 Days of Halloween list because it takes place around Halloween, so it has that great Halloween vibe to it. Yeah, and it was only $15 for the collector's edition Blu-ray DVD combo pack on Amazon.
Which is like chump change for a Scream Factory disc.
Absolutely. That's why, man, I've had it in my cart for a couple years, and it's hung out around $15 to $20. And I had to order guitar strings is actually, why I placed the Amazon order. And I'm like, man, you know what? I'm actually going to go ahead and get that because I guarantee someday that son of a bitch is going to show up as $30 and I'm going to be pissed I never bought it for $15.
Maybe 80.
Yeah, could happen, man. Like, people fucking foam at the mouth for Scream Factory stuff. So, if you catch a deal on it, on any Scream Factory you've been looking at, you better snag it.
For sure.
Because I'm in some Scream Factory groups on Facebook, and people, they want fucking $80, like you said, for like Halloween 1 Scream Factory Collector's Edition. And it's like $80, but if you want it with the slipcover, it's $110. Like,
God.
Yeah, it's, just stuff like that, man. It's ridiculous. Leanne Richard wants to know, is the Halloween voting going to happen all on YouTube or another platform? Going to be on YouTube. We stream typically at least twice a week on here. And typically those days are Tuesday and Thursdays at 8 p.m. Eastern. So, but yeah, so far just on YouTube. We are on like TikTok and other social medias and stuff like that. But I have yet to set us up with dual streams or multi-streams or anything. So, but yeah, Briggs, so tonight was fun. We covered the VHS franchise, and oh my god, it was pretty grueling because it's like sitting down and knowing that the best you're going to do is 50-50.
Yeah.
Like, that's the best you're going to get, man.
I long for a compilation of the best of VHS. Like, that would be a dream come true. Yeah, if somebody just edited together the best segments and just gave us that, that would be sweet. And yes, DOD, we had a lively chat tonight. Thanks to every single one of you who came in, baby, making this stream special for me and the Diabolical Doctor. I think I only had to threaten to kill him once, maybe twice, man. Everybody who came in here tonight, I like you.
Oh, listen at that. Yeah. There you go. Dragon Blues has the idea. Can we make a best of VHS compilation on a VHS tape? That would be amazing. Billy J, I'll get to your question here in a minute, but seriously, man, thanks to every single one of you. You all are part of the horror fam. Love all of you, man. This has been an especially long one, so we are going to field some questions or comments. If anyone has those for us, go ahead and drop them now. We will be responding, and then we're going to have to get off here and eat because I'm starving as usual with these streams. I'm that dude who does the streams at 8 p.m. Eastern and then has dinner after. So, Leanne Risher says Tuesdays and Thursdays 6 p.m. Mountain / 8 p.m. Eastern. Absolutely, you can count on us. As a matter of fact, this coming up Tuesday, we're going to have our very first special guest. It's going to be a female filmmaker who made the film Heart of the Home, available on Amazon, Apple Play, and all that good stuff.
Looking forward to it.
Absolutely, man. Gory Tiger says, yeah, 30 Days of Night is awesome. Heck yeah, it is. DOD says she wants to drink, and marathon horror movies. DOD, I'm with you, baby. Let's make that happen. Leanne Risher, I wouldn't mind watching Ginger Snaps tonight. Hell no, it's a great night to watch Ginger Snaps. I say do it up. Let's see. Billy Judd wants to know who will die in Halloween Ends. Allison Nelson, Lindsay Wallace, or Officer Frank Hawkins. Everybody dies, especially us. No, man. I'm going to say, I'd say Lindsay Wallace and Frank Hawkins. There's probably a good chance of that happening. I'd say Allison will be left alive to carry on the Laurie Strode torch once Laurie dies.
You're saying Laurie Strode will die?
Yes. Laurie Strode will die. Leanne Richer says, and today marks the first Cuts in the Faces of Horror contest. Leanne, did you enter that contest? I was going to. And then I found out what it was, and I was kind of turned off by it. Like, it's one of those where are you familiar with that?
Is it anything like Faces of Death, Bo?
No, so it's like... it's a contest on Facebook, man, where, like, the grand prize is you get, like, $13,000 and you get to hang out with Kane Hodder or something like that. And... you know, I was like, cool, man, I'll enter the contest. What could this be? And I thought it would be like, they're going to choose like the coolest whatever or to represent the face of horror. Or it could be like a randomized winner. Or it could be something like this, you know, because I was thinking about like, old Bojangles could come out of the closet for that, Briggs. But no, man, essentially what it is like you sign up for it and then it's a popularity contest. It's like people post it on their Facebook and people vote for their friend or whatever.
Lame.
And the bad thing about it is, man, like people are like celebrities have used it. So you could go on there and fucking Robert Englund could have applied, and of course, or Danielle Harris, and like. You know, I'm not saying that they did. I don't know who's on there. I just, you know, I know that there are celebrities on there trying to make it happen, or celebrities in quotes, and you know, and of course their fandom is going to vote all over the place for them. So,
oh shit.
Oh, Leanne Richer owns a haunt. That's badass, man.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and 3 people from her haunt are in it. I would love to check out those. Gory fellas or gals. You know, I love checking out, man, haunt actors and actresses, man, and seeing what they come up with. It's so cool. JP wants to know, off-topic question. When we first entered the podcast, YouTube shows videos. A little bird told me that if we watch the ads and don't hit skip, you get paid more. Is that true? As far as I'm aware, YouTube changes their rules from time to time, so whoever knows for truly, but yeah, man, as far as I'm aware, I do. And I will say, for those of you wondering, yesterday and tonight, I have been hit hard with copyright strikes. So I'm going to have to go battle those after this stream ends. JP, yeah, man, it sucks, dude. I'm showing a fucking trailer. Like, come on. JP says his Michael Myers animatronic prop died. Oh, that sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah, Briggs, here you go. Leanne describes it. She says, one horror enthusiast will win $13,000, a walk-on role in an independent film, and a 2-night stay at Buffalo Bill's house, the iconic location from Silence of the Lambs, and go head-to-head with horror legend Kane Hodder in a photo shoot for Rue Morgue magazine.
What if Robert Englund wins, dude?
Well, I'm just saying, like, that would be cool. That would be a kick-ass grand prize, but, like, regular people, like, it would be cheap even for me to enter that, you know, because I'm on YouTube, you know, so it would be, it's just cheap, man. It's a popularity contest, but cool, but popularity contest. Yes, horror fam, when you watch the ads, I do get a little more of that chingy ching ching, baby. Oh, I hear you, Leanne. She doesn't own the haunt, just the haunt she's associated with. Cool, man. Yeah, hell yeah. That's a fantasy of mine too, a dream. I want to own a haunt. Let's see here. Yes, people do be tasty, Daughter of Death. Yeah, JP, I feel you, man. I should tell the fam often. Yes.
I think she said testy, not tasty, dude.
Oh, testy? Oh, yeah. People be testy. Yeah, that's true. Well, they're tasty too, Briggs. I'm hungry. I told you, dude.
Hey, I just want to let you know, dude. Killing is distasteful to me.
Oh. Fulfill the prophecy. All right, man. Thank you all. Oh, okay. Wrong comment. Yeah, man. Thank y'all for coming into the stream, Briggs. That's it for me, man. I gotta get off here and eat. What about you, dude?
It's time to roll cut, man.
That's right. Hell Rotma. We will say that. And yes, for the link that just appeared in the stream from Streamlabs that says support the stream by donating here, that also benefits the channel much more than any other medium. As far as, you know, sending money directly.
So don't fear the Streamlabs, people.
Yes, the Streamlabs support link that just got thrown out is far more...
Is your friend.
Yes, far more beneficial to my wallet than any other means, period. Leanne says she's going to watch the stream back with pen and paper in hand, and that we are great. Thank you so much.
Aww.
Hell yeah. We will see you Tuesday, 8 p.m. Eastern, with our first special guest, and then again probably Thursday.
So take notes.
Yeah, so take notes, my friends. Until next time, look horror.
Listen, Rotma.
God damn it, Briggs!
Hail, Rotma.
You did it wrong, you dick! Alright, man. Look horror.
Listen, horror.
Talk horror.
Talk horror.
Yeah! See y'all, man.